The Power of Emotional Intelligence. Build better relationships, success, and confidence. Written and published by Mindset Masters Audiobook. Introduction. Why emotional intelligence is the hidden key to success. When people think about success, they often imagine intelligence, talent, or hard work. We're told that the smartest student gets the best job, the most talented athlete wins the championship, and the hardest worker climbs to the top. While these elements matter, they are only part of the story. In fact, research has shown that IQ alone is not the best predictor of success in life. Neither is talent. The missing link that determines who thrives, who leads, and who achieves lasting success is something far more powerful. Emotional intelligence, EQ. Emotional intelligence is the ability to understand, manage, and harness emotions, both yours and those of others. It is what allows you to stay calm under pressure, resolve conflicts with ease, motivate yourself when life gets tough, and connect deeply with people in ways that create influence and trust. In this audiobook, we will unlock the science and practical strategies behind emotional intelligence. By the end, you will not only understand what EQ is, but also know how to develop it step by step. You'll see how it can transform your relationships, accelerate your career, and give you unshakable confidence in every aspect of life. What is emotional intelligence? The concept of emotional intelligence was popularized by psychologist Daniel Goleman in the 1990s, though its roots go back further. In simple terms, EQ is your capacity to recognize emotions, both in yourself and others, and to use that awareness to guide your thinking, behavior, and decision. It involves 4 core skills: KELS, self-awareness, recognizing your emotions and understanding their impact; self-management, controlling your reactions, adapting to change, and maintaining balance; social awareness, understanding the emotions, needs, and concerns of others; relationship management, building strong, positive, and lasting connections. Where IQ determines how well you can process information, EQ determines how effectively you can navigate life. It is the difference between someone who is technically brilliant but constantly clashes with colleagues and someone who inspires teamwork, leadership, and trust. Why EQ matters more than IQ. Studies consistently show that emotional intelligence predicts success better than IQ in most areas of life. In fact, research by Talent Smart revealed that 90% of top performers in the workplace have high EQ, while only 20% of low performers do. Think about it. The smartest person in the room may fail if they cannot manage stress, communicate well, or handle conflict. A leader may have authority but will struggle if they cannot connect emotionally with their team. In relationships, it's not about how much you know, it's about how deeply you understand, listen, and empathize. Your EQ affects your health, happiness, wealth, and personal fulfillment. It influences how you make decisions, how others perceive you, and even how you talk to yourself in moments of difficulty. The 5 pillars of emotional intelligence. To build EQ, we need to explore its foundation. These 5 pillars are the building blocks of emotional mastery. Self-awareness, the mirror within. Self-awareness is the ability to recognize your emotions in real time. It's about asking, what am I feeling right now? Why am I feeling it? How is it influencing my thoughts and decisions? Without awareness, emotions control you. With awareness, you control them. Practical exercise. Keep an emotions journal, at least twice a day. Pause and write what you are feeling and why. Over time, you'll begin to notice patterns that help you understand yourself better. Self-management. Mastering the inner world. Life will always throw unexpected challenges your way. Emotional intelligence doesn't mean never feeling anger, fear, or frustration. It means not letting those emotions dictate your action. This is self-management, the ability to regulate your emotional responses, adapt to situations, and stay calm under stress. Practical exercise. Practice the pause. Before reacting emotionally, whether in an argument or stressful situation, pause for 5. This short gap often prevents mistakes you would later regret. 3. Motivation. The emotional drive for success. Motivation is more than willpower. It's an emotional commitment to your goal. People with high EQ don't wait for perfect conditions. They create momentum by connecting deeply with their why. They know that discipline, persistence, and optimism are born from mastering their emotional energy. Practical exercise. Write down your core reasons for pursuing your biggest goal. Revisit them whenever you feel tired or unmotivated. 4. Empathy, the bridge to others. Empathy is the ability to put yourself in another person's shoes, not just intellectually, but emotionally. It is what allows you to connect, influence, and build trust. Without empathy, communication feels shallow. With empathy, every interaction becomes meaningful. Practical exercise. In conversations, practice active listening. Instead of waiting to respond, focus entirely on understanding the other person's perspective. Ask questions that show you value their feelings. 5. Social skills. The art of connection. Social skills are the outward expression of emotional intelligence. They determine how well you resolve conflicts, build networks, lead teams, and maintain relationships. People with high EQ are often described as approachable, trustworthy, and inspiring. Practical exercise. Every day, make it a point to appreciate or compliment someone genuinely. This simple habit builds rapport and strengthens bonds over time. The science behind EQ. Why is emotional intelligence so powerful? Neuroscience gives us the answer. Emotions are primarily processed in the amygdala, an ancient part of the brain responsible for survival. Logic and reasoning, however, are processed in the prefrontal cortex. When you feel strong emotions like fear or anger, the amygdala can hijack your decision-making, leading to impulsive reactions. Emotional intelligence strengthens the connection between the amygdala and the prefrontal cortex. In other words, it helps you respond instead of reacting. It gives you the ability to think clearly under pressure, align emotions with logic, and make wiser choices. Instead of lashing out, they take a breath, acknowledge the feedback calmly, and later use it to improve. That's EQ. A couple faces a heated argument. One partner notices their anger rising, pauses, and chooses empathy over blame, turning conflict into connection. That's EQ. An athlete feels the crushing weight of failure after a loss. Instead of giving up, they reframe the experience, fuel their motivation, and come back stronger. That's EQ. Emotional intelligence is not abstract. It shows up in everyday life, shaping your success in visible ways. Developing your EQ step by step. The beauty of emotional intelligence is that it's not fixed. Unlike IQ, which remains relatively stable, EQ can be developed through consistent practice. Here are some powerful steps. Don't let emotions dictate your choices instantly. Reflect daily. Spend a few minutes asking yourself, how did I handle my emotions today? How did I handle others? Seek feedback. Ask trusted friends or colleagues how they perceive your emotional interaction. Meditation, breathing exercises, or simply being present sharpens your awareness. Focus on connection. In every interaction, aim not just to be understood, but to understand. It determines how resilient you are in adversity, how magnetic you are in relationships, and how confidently you navigate life's challenges. While IQ may open the door, EQ is what keeps you inside the room, building influence and leaving a lasting impact. In the next part, we'll dive deeper into self-awareness, the cornerstone of EQ. You'll discover how to truly understand yourself, uncover hidden emotional patterns, and use that knowledge as the foundation for growth. Mastering self-awareness, the first step toward emotional intelligence. At the foundation of emotional intelligence lies self-awareness. You cannot lead others, build meaningful relationships, or manage your emotions if you don't first understand yourself. Imagine navigating a ship without a compass. You might keep moving, but you'll never truly know where you're headed. The same applies to life. Without self-awareness, you drift aimlessly, reacting instead of responding, repeating old mistakes, and living below your potential. Self-awareness is not simply knowing yourself at a surface level. It's about being able to observe your thoughts, feelings, and behaviors in real time and understanding how they influence your decisions and relationships. It's about recognizing the triggers that set you off, the strengths that push you forward, and the blind spots that hold you back. When you master self-awareness, You unlock the ability to consciously choose how you want to live, rather than letting circumstances or emotions dictate your path. Why self-awareness matters. Self-awareness is the anchor of growth. Without it, personal development becomes guesswork. With it, you gain clarity about your inner world and can direct your energy toward meaningful change. Here's why it matters. Better decision-making. Emotions influence nearly every decision, from career moves to daily habits. Self-awareness ensures you're making choices from clarity, not impulse. Improved relationships. Recognizing how your emotions affect others helps you communicate more effectively and avoid unnecessary conflict. Stronger resilience. When you understand your triggers, you can prepare for challenges instead of being blindsided by them. Personal growth. You cannot fix what you cannot see. Awareness reveals what needs improvement, whether it's patience, empathy, or confidence. A person lacking self-awareness may unknowingly sabotage their success. They may think they're being assertive when in reality they're being aggressive. They may believe they're hardworking when they're actually burning themselves out without direction. Self-awareness provides the mirror necessary to correct these blind spots. The layers of self-awareness. True self-awareness is multidimensional. Let's break it down into 3 layers. 1. Emotional awareness. This is your ability to identify and name what you're feeling at any given moment. Many people lump their emotions into broad categories: happy, sad, angry, but emotions are far more complex. Are you irritated, frustrated, or resentful? Are you excited, hopeful, content? The more specific you are, the greater control you gain over your response. Practical exercise. Pause 3 times a day and ask yourself, what exactly am I feeling right now? Go beyond vague words like fine or stressed. Label your emotions with precision. 2. Behavioral awareness. This involves recognizing how your emotions shape your action. Do you become defensive when criticized? Do you withdraw when stressed? Do you overcommit out of guilt? By linking emotion to behavior, you uncover the patterns that drive your life. Practical exercise. Keep a small journal where you log daily actions that felt emotionally driven. Over time, you'll notice recurring patterns. These are the habits your emotions create. 3. Impact awareness. This is the ability to see how your emotions and behaviors affect others. Self-awareness isn't complete until you understand how people perceive you. You might believe you come across as confident, but others might perceive arrogance. You may think you're being helpful, but others may feel micromanaged. Practical exercise. Ask a trusted friend or colleague, how do I make you feel when we interact? Their answer will provide insights you cannot see alone. The role of reflection in self-awareness. We live in a fast-paced world, where constant noise, distraction, and busyness drown out inner reflection. Yet self-awareness is cultivated in silence, in stillness, in those moments when you pause and look inward. Daily reflection allows you to replay your actions, analyze your emotional responses, and learn from them. Leaders, high achievers, and emotionally intelligent individuals all share one trait. They reflect consistently. You can reflect in many ways. Journaling. Writing your thoughts down creates clarity. It transforms emotions into words, making them easier to analyze. Meditation. Sitting quietly and observing your mind trains you to detach from emotions instead of being consumed by them. Mindful breaks. Even 2-3 minutes of pausing during your day to ask, what am I feeling? Why am I feeling it? Can boost awareness. Reflection turns experience into wisdom. Without it, experiences are just events. With it, they become lessons. Triggers, the hidden forces that control you. One of the most powerful aspects of self-awareness is identifying triggers. Triggers are situations, words, or behaviors from others that ignite strong emotional reactions in you. Think about moments when you overreacted, said something you regret, or shut down emotionally. Chances are a trigger was at play. Maybe you felt dismissed, unappreciated, or threatened. Without awareness, triggers control you. With awareness, you gain the power to pause and respond intentionally. Practical exercise. Write down the top 5 situations that consistently upset, frustrate, or overwhelm you. Next to each, note what underlying emotion is triggered: fear, anger, insecurity, shame. Awareness is the first step toward rewiring your response. Building emotional vocabulary. Most people struggle to articulate emotions because they don't have the words for them. They stick to basics like good or bad. But language is power. The more words you have for emotions, the more nuanced your understanding becomes. For example, instead of happy, try content, excited, grateful, proud, or peaceful. Instead of sad, try lonely, disappointed, guilty, discouraged, or heartbroken. Developing emotional vocabulary expands your self-awareness, giving you clarity over what you truly feel. The role of self-honesty. Self-awareness requires brutal honesty. It's easy to acknowledge positive traits: hardworking, loyal, kind, but harder to admit weaknesses like impatience, insecurity, or pride. Yet true growth happens only when you face yourself fully. Ask yourself, what weaknesses have I been avoiding admitting? What strengths have I been underestimating? How do I talk to myself when I fail? Remember, self-awareness is not self-criticism. It's not about judging yourself. It's about understanding yourself. Once you see clearly, you can grow without shame or denial. Feedback. The mirror from others. No matter how self-aware you think you are, you cannot see your blind spots alone. This is where feedback becomes essential. Emotionally intelligent people don't shy away from feedback. They know that other people's perspectives provide a mirror they cannot create for themselves. While feedback may sting, it's often the fastest way to grow. Practical exercise. Ask 3 people you trust to describe your strengths and weaknesses in 1 sentence each. Compare their response. Notice patterns. These insights will reveal how you are truly perceived. Daily practices to build self-awareness. Here are practical habits you can adopt today. The 3-check method. Ask yourself 3 times a day. What am I feeling? Why am I feeling? How is it influencing my behavior? Emotions to action journal. Record key emotions you felt during the day and the actions they triggered. Over weeks, this will reveal your patterns. Morning intention. Evening reflection. In the morning, set an emotional intention. Today I will remain calm under pressure. At night, reflect on how well you followed through. Mindful breathing. Spend at least 2 minutes observing your breath daily. This practice strengthens awareness of inner state. Trigger mapping. Track your most common triggers and create alternative responses you can choose consciously. Stories of self-awareness in action. Through reflection, he realizes his anger stems from his own fear of failure. With this awareness, he shifts from blaming to problem-solving, creating a more motivated workplace. A mother realizes that she gets irritated with her children when she's tired, not because they are misbehaving. With awareness, she begins managing her energy better, creating a calmer home. An athlete recognizes that his self-doubt arises not from lack of talent, but from comparing himself to others. By catching this thought pattern, he shifts focus to his own progress, boosting his performance. These examples show that awareness alone can transform situations without anyone else changing, because when you shift, your world shifts with you. Closing thoughts for part 2. Self-awareness is the foundation of emotional intelligence. It is the practice of knowing yourself deeply, your emotions, triggers, behaviors, and impact on others. It empowers you to take control of your inner world instead of being controlled by it. Without self-awareness, growth is impossible. With it, growth becomes inevitable. In the next part, we will move into self-management, the art of regulating emotions, staying composed under pressure, and turning emotional energy into power rather than chaos. Mastering self-management, turning awareness into action. If self-awareness is the foundation of emotional intelligence, then self-management is the structure you build upon it. Awareness alone isn't enough. You can know your triggers, your emotions, and your tendencies, but if you can't manage them effectively, you remain stuck. Self-management is the skill that transforms awareness into power. It's the art of staying calm when others lose control, of pausing before reacting, of redirecting frustration into problem-solving, and of channeling emotions into productive action instead of destructive behavior. Self-management is not about suppressing emotions or pretending they don't exist. It's about regulating emotions intelligently, acknowledging them, processing them, and then deciding how to act in alignment with your values and goals. Think of it like driving a car. Self-awareness tells you the car is veering left, but self-management is what allows you to correct the steering and stay on course. The importance of emotional regulation. Emotional regulation is the heart of self-management. Every day we encounter situations that can provoke frustration, fear, anger, disappointment, or stress. Without regulation, emotions hijack our decision-making. With regulation, we stay grounded, focused, and resilient. Why is emotional regulation so crucial? Better relationships. People trust and respect those who remain composed under pressure. Improved decision-making. Regulated emotions prevent rash, short-sighted decisions. Stress resilience. Emotional control reduces anxiety and helps you bounce back from setbacks faster. Professional success. Leaders, entrepreneurs, and high performers are defined not by avoiding stress, but by managing it effectively. A simple truth is this: the people who succeed in the long run are not the ones who never feel negative emotions, but those who master their responses to them. Responding versus reacting. There's a vital difference between reacting and responding. Reaction is automatic, impulsive, and often emotional. Response is intentional, thoughtful, and aligned with your values. Imagine someone cuts you off in traffic. A reaction is shouting, honking, or tailgating in anger. A response is taking a deep breath, recognizing the momentary frustration, and letting it go because your peace matters more than proving a point. Reaction is survival-driven. Response is intelligence-driven. The more you practice self-management, the more you shift from reaction to response. Techniques for self-management. Here are practical strategies to strengthen your self-management skills. 1. The pause principle. Before you react emotionally, pause. Even a few seconds can give you enough space to shift from impulsive reaction to intentional response. Ask yourself, what am I feeling right now? What outcome do I want in this situation? Will my reaction move me closer to or further from that outcome? This tiny pause often prevents regretful actions. 2. Breathing for regulation. Deep, slow breathing signals your nervous system to calm down. When emotions rise, your body often goes into fight or flight mode. Your heart races, muscles tighten, and thoughts scatter. Conscious breathing restores balance, allowing you to regain control. Try the 4-7-8 technique. Inhale for 4 seconds, hold for 7 seconds, exhale slowly for 8 seconds. Just 3 cycles of this can lower emotional intensity and restore clarity. 3. Reframing the situation. Your interpretation of events fuels your emotions. By reframing, you change the meaning you assign to situations. For example, instead of "this challenge is impossible," think "this challenge is an opportunity to grow." Instead of "they disrespected me," think "maybe they're acting out of stress, not malice." Reframing shifts you from victimhood to empowerment. 4. Setting emotional boundaries. Self-management often means protecting your energy. Don't give every situation or person the power to control your state of mind. You cannot stop others from being negative, but you can decide how much of that negativity you allow into your space. Practical boundary. When someone criticizes unfairly, instead of internalizing it, tell yourself, "Their words reflect them, not me." 5. Practice delayed gratification. One of the highest forms of self-management is resisting the urge for instant reward in favor of long-term gain. Whether it's finances, health, or career, success often requires saying no to short-term pleasure for future benefits. When you practice delayed gratification, you build inner strength. You become the kind of person who can stick with goals, build wealth, and stay disciplined even when it's uncomfortable. Emotional energy as fuel. Emotions are energy. The question is not whether you will feel emotions, but how you will use them. Anger can destroy or it can fuel determination. Fear can paralyze or it can sharpen focus. Sadness can weigh you down or it can deepen empathy and inspire change. The key is not to suppress emotions, but to channel them productively. For example, use frustration as fuel to solve problems. Use fear as a sign to prepare and improve. Use excitement as motivation to take action. Instead of asking, "How do I stop feeling this emotion?" ask, "How can I use this emotion for growth?" The role of habits in self-management. Self-management is not just about in-the-moment regulation. It's also about the habits you build daily that set you up for stability and success. Morning routines. A calm, structured start sets the tone for the day. Meditation, journaling, or exercise creates emotional stability. Healthy lifestyle choices, sleep, nutrition, and physical activity directly affect emotional regulation. A tired mind loses control faster. Time management. Chaos and procrastination amplifies stress. Organized time creates emotional balance. When your habits support your well-being, your emotions become easier to manage. Real-life examples of self-management. Instead of panicking, she regulates her emotions, communicates calmly with her team, and provides reassurance. Her composure prevents chaos and builds trust. The athlete under pressure. A basketball player misses a crucial shot. Instead of dwelling on failure, he breathes, refocuses, and prepares for the next play. His regulation helps the team recover and win. The parent at home. A father comes home after a stressful day. His child spills juice on the floor. Instead of snapping, he pauses, smiles, and gently teaches responsibility. His self-management preserves connection and peace. These stories illustrate one truth: the person who controls their emotions controls the direction of their life. Daily self-management practices. Here are habits you can integrate into your daily life to master emotional regulation. Emotional check-ins. Set reminders to pause 3 times a day to notice your emotional state. Intentional breaks. Step away when overwhelmed. Even a short walk can reset your mind. Evening reflection. Ask yourself, how did I manage my emotions today? Where did I succeed? Where can I improve tomorrow? Self-care rituals. Rest, hobbies, and quiet time are not luxuries. They're tools of emotional balance. The connection between self-awareness and self-management. These two skills are inseparable. Self-awareness tells you what you're feeling. Self-management tells you what to do with it. Without awareness, management is impossible. Without management, awareness is useless. Together they form the inner strength needed for emotional intelligence. One is knowledge, the other is power. Closing thoughts for part 3. Self-management is where emotional intelligence comes alive. It's the difference between being ruled by emotions and ruling them. It's the skill that allows you to act with clarity, composure, and purpose, even in the face of stress, challenge, or chaos. When you master self-management, you stop being reactive and start being proactive. You stop being controlled by the world and start controlling how you move through it. In the next part, we will move into social awareness, the ability to understand others, read emotions, and develop the empathy that builds deep, meaningful relationships. Part 4. Building social awareness and empathy. Emotional intelligence is not only about managing your own emotions, it is also about connecting with and understanding the emotions of others. This is where social awareness and empathy come into play. While self-awareness helps you recognize what you are feeling, social awareness helps you tune into the emotions of people around you, creating bridges of understanding, trust, and deeper human connection. When you strengthen this skill, you begin to notice things you may have overlooked before. The tone of someone's voice, the subtle shift in their body language, or the hesitations in their words. These are the emotional cues that reveal what people are really feeling beneath the surface. By tuning in, you not only improve relationships but also gain the ability to respond in ways that foster harmony and respect. The foundation of social awareness. Social awareness begins with paying attention. Too often people are physically present but emotionally absent. They listen to respond, rather than listening to understand. Developing social awareness requires slowing down, observing carefully, and resisting the urge to rush into judgment. At its core, social awareness is about shifting your focus outward. Instead of being consumed by your own perspective, you start to genuinely consider the feelings and experiences of others. This ability does not mean you always have to agree with them. Rather, it means you respect their emotional reality as valid and worthy of acknowledgement. When you practice this, something remarkable happens. You begin to anticipate needs, resolve conflicts before they escalate, and create stronger bonds with people in both your personal and professional life. Empathy, the heart of connection. Empathy is the central pillar of social awareness. It is the ability to step into another person's shoes, to sense their emotions, and to imagine how they might be experiencing a situation. There are 3 levels of empathy to cultivate. Is empathy, understanding someone else's perspective, logic. For example, you may not feel the same frustration as a colleague who is overworked, but you can recognize and validate their stress. Emotional empathy, actually feeling what another person feels. This creates a deeper sense of connection, as when you share in a friend's sadness or excitement. Compassionate empathy, going beyond understanding and feeling, you take supportive action. This is the empathy that moves you to help, encourage, or comfort someone in need. By nurturing all 3, you build a more complete capacity to relate to others on multiple levels. Practical steps to strengthen social awareness. Pay attention not only to their words, but also to their tone, facial expressions, and body language. Ask clarifying questions that show you are invested in understanding them. Observe before responding. When entering a room or conversation, take a moment to notice the mood. Is the energy tense, calm, joyful, or anxious? This simple pause helps you approach the situation with greater sensitivity. Acknowledge others' feelings. Even if you cannot solve someone's problem, acknowledging their emotions is powerful. Phrases like, "I can see this is really difficult for you," or "that must be exciting," make people feel seen and valued. Expand your perspective. Seek out experiences and conversations with people who have different backgrounds, cultures, or viewpoints. This stretches your ability to empathize with a wider range of human experiences. These often reveal more about how someone feels than their actual words. How empathy strengthens relationships. When you practice empathy consistently, your relationships begin to transform. Trust deepens because people feel safe expressing themselves around you. Conflicts become easier to navigate because you are not simply defending your point of view. You are working to understand the other side. In personal relationships, empathy creates intimacy. It allows you to connect beyond surface-level conversations, helping your partner, family, or friends feel deeply understood. In professional settings, empathy improves teamwork, leadership, and customer relations. Colleagues are more motivated when they feel their concerns are heard. Clients remain loyal when they sense that you genuinely care about their needs. Empathy in action. A simple example. Imagine a coworker who seems unusually quiet during a meeting. You might dismiss it, or worse, criticize them for not contributing. But with social awareness, you pause and notice their body language. They are withdrawn, avoiding eye contact, and their usual energy is missing. Instead of reacting harshly, you check in privately. "I noticed you seemed quiet today. Is everything okay?" This small act could reveal that they are struggling with a personal issue or overwhelmed by workload. Your awareness not only prevents misunderstanding but also shows compassion, strengthening trust between you. The ripple effect of empathy. When you show empathy, it doesn't just affect the individual, it creates a ripple effect. People who feel understood are more likely to extend the same courtesy to others. This builds a culture of kindness and cooperation, whether at home, at work, or in your community. Empathy also reduces unnecessary conflict. Many disagreements spiral out of control not because of the issue itself, but because people feel unheard or invalidated. By acknowledging emotions, you de-escalate tension and open the door to solutions. Developing empathy as a daily practice. Like any skill, empathy grows with practice. You can start small, smile at strangers, offer words of encouragement, or take time to ask someone how they are really doing. Keep a journal of your interactions and reflect on moments when you successfully connected with another's emotions or missed an opportunity to do so. Over time, these habits reshape the way you interact with the world. You become someone others naturally gravitate toward, because being around you makes them feel understood, respected, and valued. Emotional intelligence as a path to influence. The most effective leaders and influencers in history have not only been intelligent thinkers, but also emotionally intelligent connectors. They knew how to sense the needs of others, inspire trust, and rally people around a shared vision. When you strengthen your social awareness and empathy, you gain a quiet form of influence. People are drawn to you not because you demand attention, but because you give them the gift of feeling seen. Part 5: Mastering Relationship Management and Building Influence. Emotional intelligence reaches its highest expression in the way we manage our relationships. While self-awareness, self-regulation, and empathy form the foundation, relationship management is where everything comes together. It is the ability to use emotional insight not just for yourself, but for the benefit of others, creating harmony, influence, and cooperation in your personal and professional life. Mastering relationship management does not mean manipulating people or controlling them. It means guiding interactions with wisdom, patience, and understanding. It's about cultivating connections that are authentic, mutually respectful, and built on trust. When you do this consistently, you create a powerful presence that inspires confidence and loyalty in others. The role of emotional intelligence in relationships. At the heart of every strong relationship is trust, and at the heart of trust is emotional intelligence. People do not connect deeply with titles, wealth, clever words. They connect with how you make them feel. If you can consistently leave others feeling valued, respected, and heard, you will find that doors open naturally. Relationship management enables you to navigate conflicts without damaging bonds, build collaboration by uniting diverse perspectives, motivate and inspire others to grow and give their best, establish long-term trust, which is the currency of meaningful relationships. This ability is especially crucial in leadership, where influence depends less on authority and more on the capacity to inspire, connect, and guide. Core skills for effective relationship management: clear and respectful communication. Great communicators do more than share information. They connect on an emotional level, speak in a way that is honest yet considerate, assertive yet respectful. Avoid language that belittles or dismisses others, even when disagreements arise. Emotional intelligence teaches you to approach disagreements with curiosity rather than defensiveness. Ask, "What can we learn from this?" instead of "How can I win this argument?" Mutual respect. Respect is not demanded, it is earned. Demonstrate through your actions that you value the perspectives, time, and contributions of others. This creates a balanced dynamic where both parties feel equally important. Consistency of character. People are more likely to trust you if they know what to expect from you. By being consistent in your values, words, and actions, you create stability in relationships. Consistency builds reliability, and reliability builds influence. The ability to inspire and motivate. Relationship management is not just about keeping peace. It's also about lifting others higher. Inspire people by acknowledging their strengths, celebrating their progress, and encouraging them during challenges. Turning conflicts into opportunities. Conflict is often seen as destructive, but when approached with emotional intelligence, it becomes an opportunity for growth. The key is to focus on the issue, not the person. For example, if a colleague misses a deadline, instead of attacking their character, you might say, "I noticed the project was delayed. Can we discuss what challenges came up and how we can work together to meet the next deadline?" This approach shifts the focus from blame to problem solving, preserving the relationship while addressing the issue. Over time, this kind of conflict resolution builds stronger, more resilient connection. Emotional intelligence and influence. True influence does not come from authority or force. It comes from connection. When people feel understood and valued by you, they naturally become more open to your ideas and guide. Influence through emotional intelligence rests on three principles: credibility. Do your actions align with your words? Integrity makes your influence authentic. Empathy. Do you understand the needs and concerns of others? Influence grows when people believe you have their best interests at heart. Vision. Do you inspire people towards something greater than themselves? Influence expands when you lead with a clear and motivating purpose. Building strong personal relationships. In personal life, relationship management enhances intimacy and closeness. Here are some practices. Express appreciation frequently. Small words of gratitude build trust and affection. Resolve disagreements with patience. Instead of escalating tension, focus on listening and compromise. Prioritize quality time. Presence is more powerful than any gift or promise. Apologize sincerely. Taking responsibility shows strength, not weakness, and restores trust quickly. These habits make relationships not only durable but also deeply fulfilling. Relationship management in leadership and teams. In professional environments, emotional intelligence distinguishes great leaders from average ones. Leaders who rely solely on authority may achieve compliance, but leaders who build trust and connection achieve commitment. For leaders, relationship management includes building collaboration by encouraging contributions from every voice, recognizing achievements to keep morale high, coaching and mentoring by offering guidance without judgment, maintaining fairness in decision-making to ensure respect across the team. A leader with emotional intelligence does not just manage people, they inspire them to believe in themselves and the vision they are working toward. Practical steps to improve relationship management. Reflect before reacting. Before responding to criticism or conflict, pause. Ask yourself, am I reacting emotionally, or am I responding wisely? Personalize your approach. Everyone communicates different. Learn the preferred styles of those around you. Some people value direct communication, while others prefer a gentler approach. Invest in long-term relationships. Don't only connect when you need something. Check in. Offer support and show care even when nothing is required in return. Model the behavior you expect. If you want honesty, be honest. If you want respect, show respect first. Relationships mirror what you consistently give. The long-term benefits of relationship management. When you master this skill, you create bonds that endure challenges, transitions, and even disagreements. People know they can rely on you, and this makes your personal and professional life richer and more stable. Strong relationship management is also a key driver of long-term success. Opportunities often come through people. Careers advance because of recommendations. Businesses grow through trust, and personal lives flourish through support and connection. By investing in your ability to manage relationships, you are investing in your future happiness and success. Bringing it all together, relationship management is where emotional intelligence becomes visible to the world. It is how you take the self-awareness, self-regulation, and empathy you have developed and express them in every interaction. The result is influence that is not forced but freely given by others, because they trust, respect, and are inspired by you. When you cultivate this skill, you move beyond being someone who is simply liked. You become someone who is respected, remembered, and relied upon. A person whose presence makes relationships better, conflicts easier to resolve, and opportunities more abundant. Part 6: Emotional Intelligence in Career, Leadership and Professional Growth. In today's competitive world, technical expertise and knowledge are no longer enough to guarantee success. The people who rise to the top in their careers and businesses are those who understand how to manage themselves and others effectively. Emotional intelligence is the hidden advantage behind great leadership, exceptional teamwork, and long-term professional growth. Your career is not built only on what you know, but also on how well you apply what you know in collaboration with others. Success depends on how you communicate, how you inspire, and how you navigate challenges with resilience. Emotional intelligence allows you to combine skill with influence, turning opportunities into long-lasting achievements. Why emotional intelligence matters in the workplace. Workplaces are not just about tasks. They are ecosystems of people, each with their own ambitions, fears, and personalities. Without emotional intelligence, Even the most talented individuals can struggle to collaborate or advance. Here's why emotional intelligence is critical in professional growth, performance, and productivity. People with high emotional intelligence are more focused, motivated, and adaptable. They perform better under pressure and are less likely to be derailed by stress or conflict. Teamwork and collaboration. Successful teams thrive on trust, communication, and understanding. Emotional intelligence fosters collaboration by ensuring that differences are not barriers but sources of strength. Leadership and influence. The best leaders don't simply issue instructions, they inspire commitment. Emotional intelligence allows leaders to motivate, empathize, and guide teams toward a shared vision. Career advancement. Technical skills may help you get a job, but emotional intelligence helps you keep it, grow in it, and lead within it. Employers value people who can handle challenges with composure and work well with diverse personalities. Emotional intelligence and leadership. Leadership is not about titles, it's about impact. True leaders move people not by force but by connection. Emotional intelligence gives leaders the ability to inspire, influence, and guide. Key ways emotional intelligence strengthens leadership. Resilience in crisis. When challenges arise, emotional intelligent leaders stay calm, composed, and solution-oriented. Their stability gives confidence to the people they lead. Empathy with accountability. They balance understanding with high expectation. They show care for people while holding them accountable to perform at their best. Decision-making with awareness. They consider not only facts but also the emotions and morale of those affected by decisions, ensuring choices are both wise and sustainable. A leader with emotional intelligence doesn't just direct, they bring out the best in others, creating a ripple effect of growth and confidence across the team. Emotional intelligence in communication. Career advancement depends heavily on communication. Being technically brilliant won't matter if your ideas remain misunderstood or unacknowledged. Emotional intelligence ensures that your communication is clear, respectful, and impactful. To communicate effectively, listen actively instead of waiting to speak. Acknowledge emotions, both yours and others. Adapt your style depending on who you're addressing. Use clarity and positivity to inspire rather than confuse or discourage. When you communicate with emotional intelligence, people don't just hear your words, they feel your intention, and this creates influence. Handling workplace challenges. The workplace is filled with challenges, missed deadlines, conflicting personalities, and unexpected changes. Without emotional intelligence, these challenges can become overwhelming. With it, they transform into opportunities to demonstrate maturity and leadership. Here's how emotional intelligence helps in common workplace scenarios. Conflict with colleagues. Instead of personalizing disagreements, emotional intelligent people focus on problem solving and seek win-win solutions. Pressure and deadlines. They regulate stress, stay focused, and avoid spreading panic to others. Feedback and criticism. They see feedback as an opportunity to improve, not as an attack on their identity. Adaptation to change. They embrace change with curiosity instead of resisting it with fear. Each of these moments is a chance to set yourself apart, not by reacting emotionally, but by responding intelligently. Building professional relationships with emotional intelligence. Your career opportunities often come not just from your work, but from the relationships you build along the way. Emotional intelligence helps you nurture professional relationships that are built on trust and respect. To strengthen workplace relationships, show appreciation for the contributions of others. Collaborate openly instead of competing destructively. Respect boundaries and diversity of perspectives. Be consistent so others know they can rely on you. By managing relationships wisely, you gain allies who support your growth, recommend you for opportunities, and stand by you in times of difficulty. Emotional intelligence and career growth. Consider the difference between two equally skilled professionals. One has high emotional intelligence, the other doesn't. The first professional builds strong networks, remains calm under stress, and inspires others with positivity. The second professional isolates themselves, struggles under pressure, and clashes frequently with colleagues. Both may start at the same level, but over time the first professional's career will advance faster, because success depends not just on individual skill, but on the ability to connect, influence, and collaborate. This is why emotional intelligence is often described as the X factor for career success. Practical strategies to strengthen emotional intelligence at work. This simple pause allows you to respond with wisdom instead of impulse. Seek feedback regularly. Ask colleagues or supervisors how your behavior impacts them. This builds self-awareness and helps you refine your approach. Manage stress proactively. Practice daily habits such as exercise, journaling, or mindfulness to keep your mind balanced, ensuring that workplace stress doesn't overwhelm you. Practice perspective taking. Before dismissing an idea or disagreeing with a colleague, try to view the situation from their perspective. This habit strengthens empathy. Celebrate others' success. Instead of feeling threatened by the success of others, learn to celebrate. This builds goodwill and makes you a respected team player. Emotional intelligence as the key to long-term success. A career built solely on technical ability is fragile, but a career supported by emotional intelligence is resilient. Emotional intelligence ensures that even when the environment changes, when industries shift, challenges arise, or setbacks occur, you have the inner strength and outer connections to adapt and keep moving forward. It's not about perfection. It's about consistent growth. Every workplace interaction is a chance to practice emotional intelligence, to connect deeply, and to build the trust and respect that will carry your career to new heights. Part 7. Emotional Intelligence. Confidence and Personal Empowerment. Confidence is not built overnight, nor is it simply the absence of fear. True confidence comes from self-awareness, self-acceptance, and the ability to manage your emotions in ways that align with your goals. This is where emotional intelligence becomes essential. It gives you the ability to understand yourself deeply, to regulate your thoughts and feelings, and to take actions that strengthen your self-belief. Confidence without emotional intelligence can easily turn into arrogance, but confidence built on emotional intelligence becomes authentic. It empowers you without diminishing others, and it allows you to pursue your ambitions with clarity and balance. The link between emotional intelligence and confidence. Confidence grows when you consistently prove to yourself that you can handle challenges, setbacks, and opportunities. Emotional intelligence supports this growth in 3 main ways. Self-regulation. Confidence requires composure. By regulating your emotions, you avoid being controlled by fear, anger, or doubt. You learn to act deliberately and impulsively, which reinforces self-trust. Motivation and optimism. Emotional intelligent individuals nurture an inner drive. They can maintain focus and optimism even when results take time, strengthening resilience and self-confidence. The difference between those who move forward and those who stay stuck is how they respond to it. Emotional intelligence allows you to transform self-doubt into self-growth. Reframe negative thoughts. Instead of "I can't do this," shift to "This is difficult, but I can learn and improve." Separate identity from performance. Failing at a task does not make you a failure as a person. Emotional intelligence helps you recognize this distinction. Challenge your inner critic. Ask yourself whether the voice of self-doubt is rooted in reality or fear. Often it's fear pretending to be truth. Practice self-compassion. Confidence grows when you learn to treat yourself with the same kindness you offer a friend. Over time, these habits weaken the grip of self-doubt and replace it with confidence rooted in reality and resilience. Emotional intelligence and body language of confidence. Confidence is not only what you feel, it's also how you present yourself. Emotional intelligence helps you align your inner state with your outward expression. Consider how you show up in the world. Posture. Stand tall and open, not hunched or closed off. Eye contact. Maintain connection without intimidation. Tone of voice. Speak calmly and clearly even when nervous. Facial expressions. Express warmth and authenticity. When your body language reflects self-assurance, others respond with trust and respect. Emotional intelligence ensures that your outward signals of confidence are genuine, not forced. Building confidence through emotional mastery. Confidence is not the absence of fear, but the mastery of fear. Emotional intelligence allows you to recognize fear, acknowledge it, and still take action. This is how courage is built. Here are strategies to build emotional mastery for confidence. Name your emotions. Simply saying "I'm feeling nervous" reduces the power of that emotion over you. Focus on growth, not perfection. Confidence grows when you measure progress, not perfection. Celebrate small wins. Each step forward, no matter how small, builds evidence for your self-belief. The more you practice managing your emotions, the more confidence you gain in your ability to handle life. Emotional intelligence and resilience. Confidence doesn't mean you will never fall. It means you trust yourself to rise every time you do. Emotional intelligence strengthens resilience, the ability to bounce back from difficulties without losing hope or self-worth. Resilient people use emotional intelligence to stay calm in crises rather than being paralyzed by fear. Look for lessons in setbacks instead of dwelling on failures. Seek support when needed, showing strength through vulnerability. Stay future-focused, remembering that one moment does not define their entire journey. This resilience feeds into confidence. You begin to know with certainty that no matter what happens, you have the strength and resourcefulness to recover. Confidence in relationships and social settings. Emotional intelligence not only builds inner confidence, but also empowers you in relationships. When you know how to manage your emotions and connect with others empathetically, you no longer fear rejection or judgment. In conversations, confidence shows up as active listening and thoughtful responses. People are naturally drawn to those who carry themselves with confidence rooted in emotional intelligence, because it feels safe, authentic, and inspiring. Transforming confidence into empowerment. Confidence is the seed, but empowerment is the tree. Empowerment is when you not only believe in yourself but also take consistent action toward your goals and dreams. Emotional intelligence transforms confidence into empowerment by giving you clarity, balance, and resilience. Clarity. You know who you are and where you're going. Balance. You pursue success without being ruled by fear or ego. Resilience. You keep moving forward even in the face of obstacles. Empowerment means you stop waiting for permission and start leading your own life. Emotional intelligence ensures that this empowerment does not come at the expense of others, but uplifts everyone you encounter. Practical steps to strengthen confidence with emotional intelligence. This builds self-awareness and evidence for your growth. Practice visualization. Imagine yourself succeeding in scenarios that currently make you nervous. This rewires your emotional responses. Key affirmations with action. Pair positive affirmations with action steps to make them more powerful and believable. Surround yourself with support. Engage with people who encourage growth and practice emotional intelligence themselves. Take small risks daily. Step outside your comfort zone in little ways, building your confidence muscles steadily. Confidence built through emotional intelligence is not fragile. It is strong, adaptable, and enduring. It empowers you not just to succeed in tasks, but to live with a sense of worth, courage, and purpose. Part 8. Navigating conflict with emotional intelligence. Conflict is one of the most challenging yet inevitable aspects of human interaction, whether it arises in relationships, families, workplaces, or communities. Conflict can either strengthen connections or destroy them depending on how it is handled. Emotional intelligence equips us with the tools to manage disagreements constructively, transforming tension into opportunities for deeper understanding and growth. The reality of conflict. It is natural for people to disagree. We all carry unique perspectives, life experiences, values, and priorities. When these differences collide, conflict emerges. Unfortunately, most people are never taught how to navigate conflict effectively. Instead, they react impulsively, raising their voice, shutting down emotionally, or walking away without resolution. These patterns not only prolong the problem, but can also erode trust and respect. Emotional intelligence offers a healthier alternative. It teaches us to step back, regulate our emotions, and engage with empathy. Instead of seeing conflict as a battle to win, emotionally intelligent individuals view it as a dialogue to understand. The shift from confrontation to collaboration changes everything. Self-awareness in conflict. The first step in resolving conflict lies in self-awareness. Ask yourself, what am I truly feeling? What need of mine feels unmet? Why is this triggering me so deep? Often conflicts aren't about the surface-level issue, whether it's money, chores, or deadlines, but about deeper emotional needs, like respect, recognition, or fairness. When you slow down to identify your emotions clearly, you gain control. For example, instead of saying, "You never listen to me," you might realize the underlying emotion is frustration because you feel unappreciated. Expressing this as "I feel unappreciated when my ideas aren't considered" is far more constructive than blame. Self-regulation. Respond, don't react. In conflict, emotions run high. Anger, defensiveness, or hurt can cloud judgment. This is where self-regulation comes in. Emotional intelligence gives you the discipline to pause before responding. Taking a deep breath, counting to 10, or even stepping away temporarily can prevent words or actions you'll later regret. Responding with calmness instead of aggression disarms the other person. It lowers emotional intensity and creates space for real communication. Self-regulation is not about suppressing emotions. It's about channeling them wisely. Empathy. Seeing beyond your perspective. One of the greatest skills in conflict resolution is empathy. The ability to step into the other person's shoes and see the situation from their point of view. This does not mean you have to agree with them, but by validating their feelings, you diffuse defensiveness and open the door to dialogue. Simple phrases like, "Tell me more about how you're seeing this." These acknowledgements can soften tensions instantly. Empathy turns conflict from me versus you into us versus the problem. The power of active listening. Most conflicts escalate because people listen to reply, not to understand. Active listening is the antidote. It involves giving your full attention, avoiding interruptions, and reflecting back what you've heard to confirm understanding. For example, Person A, "I feel like my contributions are overlooked." Person B, "So what I'm hearing is that you don't feel your efforts are being recognized. Is that right?" This practice makes the other person feel heard and respected, which often dissolves half the tension on its own. Emotional intelligence in workplace conflicts. Workplace conflicts are particularly common. Differences in opinions, roles, or responsibilities can create friction. Leaders who use emotional intelligence foster healthier resolution. Instead of blaming or taking sides, they ask, what outcome would work best for the team, and how can we collaborate to reach that? An emotionally intelligent workplace prioritizes dialogue, fairness, and mutual respect. Employees feel safe expressing concerns, and as a result, conflicts lead to innovative solutions rather than lingering resentment. Transforming conflict into growth. Every conflict carries hidden opportunities. Managed well, it can strengthen relationships by building trust, increase mutual respect through honest communication. Growth rarely happens in comfort. It often arises from challenge. Practical strategies for conflict resolution. To apply emotional intelligence in your daily life, consider these steps. Pause and breathe. Don't react immediately. Give yourself space to think. Name the emotion. Ask yourself what you're really feeling beneath the surface. Use I statements. Express your feelings without blaming, e.g., "I feel overlooked when my input isn't acknowledged." Listen actively. Repeat back what the other person says to ensure understanding. Seek common ground. Shift the focus from who is right to what outcome benefits both. Agree on action steps. Resolve conflicts with clarity on what changes or solutions will follow. Building a conflict-resilient mindset. At its core, conflict is not a threat, but a test of emotional maturity. Every disagreement gives you a chance to practice patience, empathy, and courage. Over time, this builds resilience. Instead of fearing conflict, you begin to approach it with confidence, knowing you have the skills to manage it with grace. True confidence is not the absence of conflict, but the ability to remain calm, respectful, and solution-oriented in the middle of it. That is emotional intelligence at work. Part 9. Emotional intelligence in leadership and influence. Leadership is not about titles, positions, or authority. True leadership is the ability to inspire, guide, and influence others toward a shared vision. While many people think of leadership in terms of strategy, planning, and decision-making, the most powerful leaders throughout history share one common trait: Emotional intelligence. Why emotional intelligence defines great leaders. A leader's job is not just to make decisions, it is to lead people, and people are driven by emotions more than logic. A highly skilled leader who lacks emotional intelligence may achieve short-term results, but often fails to inspire long-term loyalty or trust. On the other hand, a leader with emotional intelligence creates environments where people feel valued, understood, and motivated to give their best. Think about the leaders who left a lasting impression on you. Chances are it wasn't their technical expertise you remember most, but the way they made you feel supported, encouraged, or empowered. That is the invisible power of emotional intelligence. Self-awareness, the foundation of leadership. Leadership begins with leading yourself. If a leader cannot regulate their own emotions, how can they expect to guide others? Self-awareness enables leaders to understand how their moods and actions affect others. Avoid making impulsive, emotionally charged decisions. For example, a leader who notices they are prone to frustration in high-pressure situations can prepare themselves by practicing calmness before addressing their team. This prevents unnecessary tension and models composure for others. The role of self-regulation in leadership. In challenging situations, leaders are under constant scrutiny. Teams look to them not only for direction but also for emotional cues. A leader who loses control, lashes out, or panics spreads insecurity. A leader who remains calm, adaptable, and focused provides stability, even in uncertainty. Self-regulation allows leaders to make decisions with clarity instead of impulse. It ensures fairness, prevents unnecessary conflicts, and builds respect. Employees trust leaders who are consistent rather than volatile. Motivation and inspiring others. Great leaders are deeply motivated, not just by money or recognition, but by vision, purpose, and passion. Their internal drive inspires others to follow. Emotional intelligence helps leaders connect their personal motivations with the collective mission of their team. For example, a motivated leader doesn't just say, "We need to meet this deadline." Instead, they connect the task to meaning. By completing this on time, we are helping our clients succeed, which strengthens our reputation and creates new opportunities for all of us. When leaders articulate the why behind the work, people feel engaged and invested. The power of empathy in leadership. Empathy may be the single most important leadership skill. An empathetic leader doesn't see team members as interchangeable workers, but as human beings with unique needs, challenges, and aspirations. Empathy allows leaders to understand employee struggles, such as burnout or stress, support growth by recognizing individual talents, strengthen relationships by showing genuine care. For instance, if an employee's performance drops, an emotionally intelligent leader doesn't immediately assume laziness. Instead, they might ask, "Is something outside of work affecting your focus?" This creates trust and opens space for solutions. Social skills, building influence and cooperation. A leader without people skills cannot lead effectively. Social skills, such as communication, persuasion, and conflict management, are all deeply tied to emotional intelligence. Leaders with strong social skills are able to build strong networks and collaborations. It is about building authentic connections, aligning interests, and guiding others toward shared success. Emotional intelligence and decision-making. Leadership often involves making tough decisions that affect many people. Emotional intelligence ensures those decisions are not made in a vacuum. Instead, leaders balance logic with empathy, considering not just the numbers but the human impact. For example, when a company faces financial challenges, a purely logical leader may implement harsh cuts without explanation. An emotionally intelligent leader, however, communicates openly with the team, explains the reasons, and seeks ways to minimize harm. This approach not only preserves morale, but also strengthens loyalty. Leading through change. Change is one of the greatest challenges in leadership. People naturally resist change because it disrupts stability. Emotional intelligence enables leaders to guide teams through transitions by offering reassurance while staying realistic, inspiring confidence in the vision of the future. When people feel heard and supported, they are far more likely to embrace change rather than resist it. Leadership without authority. Emotional intelligence isn't limited to CEOs or managers. Anyone can be a leader within their sphere of influence, whether it's in a family, a classroom, or a social group. True leadership is not about position but about impact. When you practice emotional intelligence, you naturally gain influence. People listen to those who listen to them. They follow those who inspire respect, not fear. By embodying emotional intelligence, you can lead from wherever you are. Practical steps to build emotional intelligence in leadership. To apply these principles in your leadership journey, consider, practice reflection. Regularly ask yourself how your mood and behavior impact others. Respond, don't react. Pause before making decisions under stress. Communicate the why. Connect tasks to meaning and vision. Listen deeply. Prioritize understanding over speaking. Empower others. Share responsibility. Delegate trust. And celebrate achievements. Stay authentic. Lead with honesty and integrity. The lasting impact of emotional intelligent leadership. Leaders with emotional intelligence don't just build organizations. They build legacies. They leave behind teams that are more cohesive, individuals who feel valued, and communities that are stronger. Their influence continues long after their direct leadership ends, because they planted seeds of trust, confidence, and growth. In the end, leadership is not about how many people you command. It is about how many people you uplift. Emotional intelligence ensures that your leadership is not only effective, but also deeply human. Part 10. The complete blueprint for emotional intelligence mastery. We have journeyed through the layers of emotional intelligence, from self-awareness to empathy, from relationships to leadership. Each step revealed how our ability to recognize, understand, and manage emotions shapes not only who we are, but also how we connect, influence, and grow. This final part brings everything together into a clear, practical blueprint for living with emotional intelligence every single day. The core pillars of emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence is not a vague concept. It is built on 5 interconnected pillars that must be strengthened together. Self-awareness, the ability to recognize your emotions, thoughts, and behaviors in the moment. Self-regulation, the discipline to manage impulses, remain calm, and make rational choices under pressure. Motivation, the inner drive to pursue goals with resilience, fueled by vision and purpose. Empathy, the ability to step into someone else's perspective, understanding their emotions and needs. Social skills, the mastery of communication, influence, collaboration, and conflict resolution. When these 5 elements work in harmony, they create a foundation of emotional mastery that transforms every part of life. How emotional intelligence shapes every area of life. Emotional intelligence is not something you add on top of your skills. It is the invisible current running through everything you do. In personal growth, self-awareness and self-regulation protect you from self-sabotage and destructive patterns. In relationships, empathy and communication strengthen trust, deepen intimacy, and prevent unnecessary conflict. In career and leadership, motivation and social skills enable you to inspire, persuade, and guide others toward shared goals. In resilience, emotional intelligence allows you to navigate setbacks, uncertainty, and stress without losing clarity or hope. Without emotional intelligence, talent and knowledge are like seeds thrown on barren soil. With it, those same seeds take root, flourish, and multiply. The cycle of emotion and response. Every decision we make passes through a filter of emotion before it becomes action. If we are unaware of this, we risk being controlled by reactions, impulses, and biases. Emotional intelligence helps us slow the cycle. Dake. Notice the emotion. I feel frustrated. Name it accurately. This is not anger. It's disappointment. Understand the trigger. I feel this way because my expectations weren't met. Choose a response. Instead of lashing out, I'll clarify what I need. This practice transforms emotional chaos into intentional behavior. It shifts us from being reactors to becoming conscious creators of our lives. Emotional intelligence as a success multiplier. Many people assume success is purely a matter of intelligence, talent, or opportunity. Yet countless studies reveal that emotional intelligence is often the greater predictor of long-term success. Why? Because success is not a solo journey. It involves people. An entrepreneur with emotional intelligence can build partnerships, gain customer trust, and lead teams effectively. A professional with emotional intelligence can navigate office politics, handle criticism gracefully, and rise into leadership roles. A student with emotional intelligence can manage stress, build strong networks, and stay disciplined in pursuit of learning. Technical skill may open doors, but emotional intelligence determines whether you thrive once you walk through them. The role of confidence in emotional intelligence. Confidence is not arrogance. It is the quiet assurance that you can handle life's challenges. Emotional intelligence builds confidence in 3 ways. Self-awareness gives clarity about strengths and growth areas. Self-regulation provides calmness in uncertainty, reducing fear-driven decisions. Empathy and social skills build stronger connections, which fuel support and collaboration. Confidence is the natural byproduct of knowing yourself, managing yourself, and connecting meaningfully with others. A daily practice for mastery. Emotional intelligence is not mastered in a day. It is cultivated daily. Here are practical habits to anchor emotional intelligence in your routine. Morning reflection. Begin each day by naming how you feel and setting an emotional intention. Pause before reacting. Train yourself to take a breath before responding in difficult conversations. Empathy check. At least once daily, ask yourself, how might this person be feeling right now? Gratitude practice. End your day by naming 3 things you appreciate. Gratitude strengthens optimism and resilience. Continuous learning. Read, listen, and practice new tools for communication, mindfulness, and leadership. Emotional intelligence in conflict and healing. No matter how skilled or disciplined we are, conflicts are unavoidable. Emotional intelligence doesn't prevent conflict. It transforms how we handle it. Instead of turning disagreements into battles, it turns them into opportunities for understanding and growth. An emotionally intelligent approach to conflict includes clarifying emotions without blaming, seeking solutions, not victories, valuing the relationship over the argument. This approach doesn't just resolve conflict, it strengthens bonds. The ripple effect of emotional intelligence. When you live with emotional intelligence, your influence goes beyond yourself. You impact your family, your workplace, and your community. The calmness you bring reduces stress in others. The empathy you show inspires kindness. The confidence you carry encourages others to rise. Emotional intelligence is contagious. By practicing it, you set a standard that others naturally follow. Building a legacy with emotional intelligence. At the end of life, people rarely remember how much money we made or how many titles we held. What they remember is how we made them feel. Did we make others feel valued? Did we inspire confidence and courage? Did we bring peace in chaos? Emotional intelligence allows us to leave behind a legacy of connection, love, and impact. It ensures our influence doesn't fade with time, but lives on in the people we've touched. The final blueprint. To live with emotional intelligence is to live with wisdom, compassion, and strength. It means knowing yourself so you can master managing your emotions so you can choose your actions, caring for others so you can build deep, meaningful relationships, leading with empathy so you can inspire trust and loyalty, living with resilience so you can thrive in uncertainty. When you integrate these principles, you gain not just success, but also peace of mind, richer relationships, and a stronger sense of purpose. The true power of emotional intelligence is not in theory, it is in daily practice. It is in the way you greet a stranger, respond to a challenge, comfort a loved one, and lead yourself when no one is watching. Mastering emotional intelligence is not just about becoming better at life, it is about becoming better for the people whose lives you touch. That is the ultimate success.